All right, welcome everyone, and thanks so much for taking time out of your afternoon and joining B2G Victory and RFP SchoolWatch for our session today of responding better, faster, and winning more contracts. I'm Julie Hartman, co-founder of B2G Victory. Joined with me is Emily Kelly, project manager of B2G Victory, and Rick Bernstein with RFP SchoolWatch. We are thrilled and happy that you're joining us today to learn about how to respond better, faster, and win more government contracts. So we're going to break our content this afternoon into a few sections: how to create and manage your proposal library, how do you measure your success, organizing and gathering all of this content, which is critical to respond quickly and efficiently to bids, as well as how do you score the opportunity. As I said, I'm Julie Hartman, co-founder of B2G Victory, and we do a couple of different things with the ultimate goal of helping you win a government contract. We assist in certifications as well as recertifications on the federal, state, and local level. We also provide capture management services to help you understand what is the best strategy for your company to grow through government contracting, as well as the execution of that strategy and tactics. We help you actually write the proposal, whether that's a proposal audit, developing your library, full proposal management services, as well as production, helping you get registered, and how do you talk to those buyers and those contracting officers with the bids that you'll be receiving from RFP SchoolWatch. And depending on where you are in your government journey, help you with process improvement, and if it's the right fit for you, to do training and one-on-one coaching as well. Our mission is to do meaningful work, and it's meaningful to us because it's your business. It's everything to you, your industry, your family, your neighborhood, and your community. B2G Victory, as well as RFP SchoolWatch, are small businesses, and we're driven each and every day to have a social and economic impact by building capacity, increasing your access to capital, driving revenue. And you can learn about how each one of the B2G members defines meaningful work to them on our website. Emily's going to drop that link. We've got a podcast, and we've been doing meaningful work for many, many years, over 2 decades. And we've helped clients over 40 different sectors. We've helped clients win $6.8 billion worth of award value. And we have an 88.5% win rate. And we've recently launched a podcast. You can learn more about the entire B2G Victory team, our win rate, our podcast, and all of those things at our website. As a participant in our session today, you are eligible for a discount of 50% on the B2G Victory portal. So you're joining us today for an hour, but what happens if it's Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or maybe it's Tuesday morning at 2 o'clock in the morning, or maybe it's just a Wednesday at 10 a.m. and you have questions. Maybe you need help defining a word that's in a bid that you received. Maybe you want to just watch a 2 to 3 minute video. There's some tools and templates and all sorts of other things available to you on the B2G Victory portal. And as a participant for today, if you enter launch code, you'll save 50%. So you get the first year for $500. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to put those in the chat. And the B2G Victory team, like I said, today you've got myself as well as Emily Kelly. But we've got quite the robust team of industry experts and certifications in proposal management, in government contracting. And that's Susan, the other co-founder, Dawn Dunsford, who's our lead proposal manager, Mark Craig, our business advisor, and Bella Scrivich, our marketing coordinator. And we want you to connect with us, whether that's on social media, or drop us an email, or book some time with us. And Emily's dropped all of that information in the chat, so you can, whatever the best way is, go ahead and connect with us after our session today. I'm now going to turn it over to Rick with RFP SchoolWatch, and he can tell you a little bit about himself and all of the great things that RFP SchoolWatch provides.
Hi, thank you so much, Julie. Yeah, my name is Rick Bernstein. I'm with RFP SchoolWatch. I'm one of the account managers for the company. We're so grateful for this relationship with B2G because it's such a hand in glove relationship. We're the front end of the deal for you. We will help you find valuable RFPs that you can then in turn into lucrative contracts with the help of B2G, getting some great proposals sent out to the agencies that are authoring these RFPs, and really having just game-changing contracts to start working on through these RFPs. That just makes all the difference in your success and your ability to move your business forward as you go into the 2024 season. We have been in business for 24 years. We are the #1 monitoring service for education and state and local government in the country. And we love working with our clients and creating relationships between our clients and B2G so that it's a one-stop shopping relationship where we get you the leads, you have an opportunity to work with the team at B2G and get those proposals out and land some valuable contracts. I'm going to be answering some questions for you all today. Feel free to jot down any questions in Q&A, and I will respond as quickly as possible along with Emily. I have a screen up right now, empowering vendors to win centralized access to RFPs, and that's exactly what we do. We shop for the RFPs for you. You don't even need to log on or find your own RFPs. We'll do that for you. We do advanced searching and filtering, and we do it on a manual basis where we have a manual data mining team that will go out and search via your particular keywords to find those very special, appropriate, relevant key RFPs for your business. We send them out on a daily basis, 6 days a week, so you do not have a time lag between the publication of these RFPs and you having an opportunity to respond to them. We're very market specific for you so that when you tell us what you do, we set you up for success. We make sure that your keywords are really identifying your specific niche, and then we find RFPs that accommodate that niche. We do these monthly networking opportunities as well as email marketing opportunities for you as well. And we have educational sessions and resources through RFP SchoolWatch that you're more than invited to take advantage of. So that's what we do. That's our part of the pie. I'll turn it back over to Julie and let her talk more about her end of it, but we would love to have you get in touch with us. There's going to be information available as to how you can contact us. Amy Ball is our Senior Business Development Manager, and she is accessible. And we also have our website, rfpschoolwatch.com. And through today, we give a 10% discount in our subscription fees by just typing in WEB10 on the code and getting a discount. And we're happy to help you get started with RFP SchoolWatch. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Rick, so very much. And we're actually going to show you a sample of what a bid looks like, a bid alert from RFP SchoolWatch. We've been doing these co-branded seminars, webinars with RFP SchoolWatch for a couple of months now, and they're all posted on the B2G Victory YouTube channel. Also, when you're there, you'll find other playlists from other seminars, other shorts, as well as our entire podcast. We invite you to subscribe to the channel, so as we post other sessions, other videos, other playlists, other podcasts, you'll go ahead and get notified. So let's go ahead, let's jump in and let's engage. We're going to be having the question and answer box, so go ahead and put your Q&As there as we go through the content for today, as well as, like Rick said, we want this to be a networking opportunity in this space. You never know who you're going to need to help supplement a scope of work, or who's right there in your back corner who can help you win work. So we encourage you to put your contact information in the chat. Emily's going to be dropping in all sorts of useful links in the chat as well. And as an attendee, we're going to send you the direct link to the video once it's posted in a couple of days as well. So let's jump on into the first section. Organization is the key. And that was one of the objectives of our time together, is to talk about how do you create and manage your proposal library. Because when you have things organized in a structure, you're able to respond better, faster, and then ultimately win more contracts. So where does that start? Well, that actually starts with the daily bid alert from RFP SchoolWatch. So when you have your keywords refined and are focused on where you want to grow your business and really maximize the opportunities in the government space, whether that's in K through 12 education, higher education, federal work, local work, state work, it doesn't matter. And RFP SchoolWatch delivers bids and opportunities across all different government agencies. So here's an example of a bid that came out, and it was for unarmed security guards for the City of Burlington Board of Education in New Jersey. And it was due on the 1st of June. So we're showing you a historic bid. But there's great value in getting these sample bids from RFP SchoolWatch as well. So it helps you understand what things are going to be asked for, right? Because once we're starting to build the proposal library, whether that's from historic bids or current bids, that's going to allow us to respond better, faster, and ultimately win more contracts. So there is huge value in getting your keywords together. And if you need help, RFP SchoolWatch can help you figure out what those keywords are, and then go ahead and fill that out and get some sample bids. So then it comes there, you click on it, and this is the actual bid that we're going to look through. This is, once you click on it, the actual bid. And so it tells you the due date, the time, who the contact person is for this type of service. So then you've got to organize all of this information for your company that you're going to use over and over again. And so these are some common things that you're going to want to capture, that you're going to need to use when you're responding to an opportunity. So what are your NAICS codes, your NIGP codes, or your CSI codes? And those are driven, once again, from your keywords. What is it that your business does, right? And you want to be able to access this information very quickly in a centralized location. And we call this your victory book. And then you can move through the victory book with your DUNS number, your CAGE codes, or any relevant certifications. So we encourage you to have that organized centrally. Then how do you organize your structure, the actual files? Now, each bid and each opportunity is going to vary slightly, but you'll know when you have each opportunity structured this way, how you can go and find information from similar proposals or from past responses. These are just recommendations. You can structure them however you want. And so we always have a folder called an RFP or RFQ, whatever the actual bid is. These are files back from when you downloaded it from the bid opportunity, go directly in there. Any forms that need to be completed, any amendments or any of that. So that all is stuff directly from the agency in the file names that come directly from the agency. Then the working. These are the various sections, and we encourage you to divide them up into sections so multiple people can be helping, whether that's B2G Victory, jumping in and helping out or supplementing, or someone else within your team, maybe your owner, business development person, or a subject matter expert. Maybe what you do in the product and service you provide is very technical in nature. So you're going to need a subject matter expert to look in a specific folder or work on a specific section. This allows continual movement on the response so that you, most importantly, will be responsive and competitive. Then we always have a folder called Final, and that has the final submission. That's the final PDF that was uploaded. That's the final maybe pricing that was in Excel. That is the final forms. Everything that was either printed and or uploaded to the agency is there separate from the working. So there is never any questions once you get to the interview, what was sent to the agency, because before you get to the interview, if that is part of the process, then you've got all of that information centralized and organized to quickly go and review. All righty, so that's in working. And so this is just an example of the actual folder structure for a response. So this had 10 different sections, 11 different sections, including the company profiles. And so we like to think about it, if it's its own separate section of the response, then it gets its own separate folder. So those are some tips and tricks on how you can create and manage and organize your proposal library so you can respond better, faster, and that we're all here together with the same goal is to win more contracts. Does anybody have any questions on this section, or want to put in the chat maybe one or two things that from being organized that you're going to take away from today? How to win is the next section, and regarding measuring your success. Well, in order to measure our success, we've got to figure out what a win is. And we like to encourage everyone not only to define your success qualitatively, but quantitatively as well. And really think about why you are pursuing this specific opportunity. And so there's some criteria that we put into what we call as a go, no-go matrix, and really look at the various bid factors that will determine whether this is a good pursuit to go after. And it's not just the gut check. These are the numbers which will help you decide the strategy for your business on whether or not it is the right one to go forward, or if you've got multiple pursuits at the same time. This will really help you identify what is the best pursuit to spend your time on, because we all only have the same 24 hours in a day that we can work with. So we'll just kind of highlight a few of these bid factors, and then you actually score yourself. You can either do this by yourself or maybe with someone on your team, or we can help you out with this as well. So are you known by the client? And then do you also know the competition? How did you hear about this procurement? What is our overall technical capability for this pursuit? Can we provide proof of qualified staff or proof of past performance if it's a product, not a service base? Do we need to subcontract any of it based on the scope? And the scope, well, where do we find out what the scope is? Well, the scope comes through your bid alert with RFP SchoolWatch, right? What is the financial potential? And we need to make sure that when we're looking at these government opportunities, the financial potential, whether that's short-term or long-term, or both short-term and long-term financial potential. And there's this big misconception in the government space, and I think NASA was one of the first people that did it when they chose the lowest bidder. So we're going to choose the lowest bidder, and we're going to put you on a rocket and send you to the moon or send you to outer space. And yes, there are some government agencies that only do lowest bidder, but the majority of agencies do best value. And so think about if you're not the cheapest price, that's okay. What, in addition to your price, do you provide the agency, right? So think about the full potential, not only to your business, but the agency overall. And then do we have time to put together a complete and compelling proposal? And then do we know the competitors? And is this within our geographic region? Are we going to be able to service this contract efficiently and effectively? and then price, right? So then you go through and you just assign yourself these values based on what you know, and then comments. How are those numbers going to change? Or is there a way to change these numbers? And then what do I need to do in order to make that happen? So then you're going to score yourself based on these 10 evaluations. And then here are your 2 different decision points that really help you decide qualitatively as well as quantitatively if you should be going after this. You can customize this. And what is your score? Should your score be higher than a 75? Should your score be higher than an 80? And then a second decision point, if you know your competitors, is your score higher than your competitors? So if you decide to go forward with this go, no go matrix, and we are going forward, so what is your win? And so we're going in eyes wide open in order to measure the success, because obviously we all want that contract, right? We want that check. But what are some other ways to measure your success in this space? Maybe you're going from K through 12 to higher ed. Maybe you're making the leap from, local government to state government. What are you going to use to measure that success along the way? Is it a learning opportunity? Is this the first one that we've done for a different agency? Is this to increase awareness of your business and company? Is it to get your foot in the door? Maybe you're introducing a new product and service, and this existing agency, whether that's on the state or local level, knows you and your company for this scope of work or these specific products and services. And now we want to get the foot in the door to supplement those additional products and services. Maybe it's to get to the shortlist presentation. Maybe you're making the leap from a subcontractor to a prime. And then obviously the ultimate goal is a contract. So we encourage you to think about these other wins as you're measuring your success in this space. Alrighty, another performance indicator that you can use to measure your success is your win rate and your capture ratio. So your win rate, don't say that too fast, right? Back and forth. Your win rate is the number of your bids over the number of bids submitted, right? And if you're not capturing your win rate, then that might be one of the action items that you've learned during our time together today. Capture ratio deals with the dollars, right? So that's the dollar value of the bids won over the dollar value of bids submitted. All right, so those are 2 other KPIs, key performance indicators that you can track. And if you want to do that overall, or depending on your business, maybe you're currently capturing your success overall. Well, maybe now you want to break it down and maybe your different curriculum offerings, maybe you're located geographically across the state, or if you want to look at partnering opportunities, maybe you're a subcontractor and this prime keeps coming back and asking for information. Well, if you're not tracking your performance indicators as a subcontractor, I really encourage you to do that as well. Some other key performance indicators, and top teams go beyond just tracking the revenue, is the cost per bid. And think about these as hard costs as well as soft costs, right? How many hours is it taking you to put together a bid? We find that it typically takes between 20 to 30 hours for a big full RFP. If it's just pricing, then those are definitely less. But if you don't know what your average cost, hard cost, as well as opportunity cost or hours for your responses, that might be a takeaway from our time today. Are you tracking, your team involvement and satisfaction regarding that? Are you actually getting the debrief and bid tabulation, not only for the bids that you've requested from RFP SchoolWatch, right? Because that can give you industry intel, but as well as bids and debriefs of bids that you've won, as well as didn't win. And here's the key point is, what are the action items or lessons learned that you're going to use from those debriefs and bid tabulations? And in closing on this, I'll just point out one other item that top teams do to go beyond just tracking revenue is looking at dates, right? So backing out of the dates from when it was submitted to when it was awarded to when you negotiated to when you started, because that'll help you with cash flow projections as well. And sometimes in government contracting, this is a marathon and not a sprint. And here's a great example of that is this was for a vending machine RFP that we helped the client do for a school district. It was released in April of 2020. Then we did the pre-bid meeting. We submitted questions and answers. Then we got the answers to those questions, the due date, the board review. They were invited, they presented, then it was awarded in January 5th, 2021. And they actually started work, got the bid debrief and bid tabulation on February 1st. So we want to kind of point that out, that sometimes these are marathons and sometimes these are quick sprints. So how else can you be organized once you get that proposal, right? So now we found it, we're going to go after it. It is the right fit. We've defined maybe our primary win and our secondary win for this. But in order to win the contract, your content has to be compliant and responsive. So how am I going to organize and gather all of this content as I'm working on this bid? And I also encourage you, when you're requesting your bid samples from RFP SchoolWatch, go ahead and do a compliance matrix from one of these samples that you've got. So now you can start developing that and seeing what these bids, these sample bids are asking for, and comparing it to what do you have in your proposal library, right? And then also what are the types of things that are commonly requested, so you can have those organized and ultimately respond better, faster, and win more contracts. So who's going to be involved in this? So this is an example of a compliance matrix or proposal matrix. So when is it due? How many pages are limited? What types of forms do I need? Who needs to sign those forms is critically important. What do we know about the client? What are our win themes? And then we actually start going into the exact proposal section, right? So this one has an executive summary. It has a 5-page limit on the cover letter. Keep in mind that some agencies have a 2-page limit on the cover letter or the executive summary. So keep that in mind. And regardless if there isn't a page limit, you always want your response to be as concise and as compelling as possible. So then the next section in this example proposal is team and resumes. So we need to create an organization chart, and this is the project organizational chart, not your company org chart. Who is going to be actively working on this project? And then do we have either a bio or a resume for them? And do we need other people to fulfill the scope of this project? Continuing through this sample matrix is projects, right? How are you going to communicate that you've done similar types of work? And I want to make sure to point out that regardless if you're a subcontractor or a prime, past performance is past performance. Even if you've done work with a previous company, it depends on the RFP whether you can or cannot list it. But think about that, and also think of other similar relevant projects, right? And then the approach, how are you going to approach this project, whether that's in your delivery, your methodology, your project management? How do you communicate with the client? We are seeing that communication, quality assurance, quality approach, project management are great areas for you to add value and justify your price. Okay, we're just going to keep going through this example matrix here. So pricing, for this response, they wanted a pricing summary as well as pricing details, right? And so the bids that you'll receive from RFP SchoolWatch will tell you specifically how they want the price. Do they want it in their form? Are you going to upload it to the agency's website, etc.? Forms, what are forms that are required? And if there's a form in a bid, it's required. This is not the time to be creative. If they ask for a form, then you give them the form back, and you've got to make sure to sign it, and it has to be signed. So getting content, and this is where the relationship between RFP SchoolWatch and B2G Victory really works well, is they deliver the opportunities and we help you get everything organized. We help you get that content, right? And sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Well, what type of content do I need, or do I need to use or have to enhance my proposal library, right? When you get these sample bids from RFP SchoolWatch, or maybe you're ready to go ahead and subscribe to opportunities, every single bid that has tax dollars, whether it's federal, state, or local dollars, will have an evaluation or a scoring criteria. So this tells you how the evaluators are going to look at you and judge you from the competition. This evaluation criteria is also really helpful when you're getting your bid tabulations. I can get a drink of water real quick. So this is your report card, right? And it allows you to evaluate yourself as well as your competitors, right? And so back to where we started with the go, no go decision, pull up the scoring criteria for that opportunity. Is this the right fit? And really be honest with yourself with what you know right now. If we're not lowest price, that's okay, then don't give yourself a 30. Maybe give us a 25. And we know that our competitor is a little bit lower price than us. That's okay, then own that. Also, a couple of things to consider when you're determining your price is make sure that you have the insurance requirements. And when you get sample bids from RFP SchoolWatch, you'll be able to see what the typical insurance requirements are for the goods and services that you provide. For example, if you have $1 million in coverage and it requires $2 million, then call up your agent, ask for a quote. Don't go ahead and increase your coverage. You don't want to be over covered. Just find out what that price difference is. And that would be something that might impact the price. Right? Criminal background check. If you're going to be actually on campus, all of your team members that will be on campus will need to go through a background check. And then also think about other products and services that influence your price. Your reputation. If you've got a great reputation, for this example, the weighted value was 10%. We did 9. We know that maybe the competitor has some challenges. So you'll just go through this evaluation criteria and score yourself, and then use this evaluation criteria to find out what other content that you're going to need to collect as you're responding to this bid, because evaluators are going to come here and look at this information. So how do you get the thoughts out of your head? Because what we find time and time again is that our clients can do the work. They've got the experience. It's either in the project manager's head or it's in the owner's head. And we just have to get that out on paper and articulated and organized in a way that you can get the maximum number of points, right? So a couple of ideas. If you're a little old fashioned, just grab a good old yellow legal pad and just start jotting it down. Maybe you're a stream of conscious person and just jot things down in Post-it notes, in the different criteria, and then you can organize them. Take a picture and send it to us, right? We also have clients that do a lot of driving and spending a lot of time either on their commute or in their car. Well, let's use technology to your advantage and just go ahead and open up your notes function, hit that microphone record button and just start talking. It will dictate there. And it's AI, it's at 85%, but at least it starts getting things going. If you're at your desk, one of the most intimidating things I think of on the planet is opening up PowerPoint or Microsoft Word. Well, there are two really cool tools in, it's the same tool in either Word or PowerPoint, which is the dictation feature. So you can hit on the microphone and just right there at your desk or maybe on your couch or on your back porch, whatever works for you. You do need to be connected to internet or Wi-Fi. And just once again, just use the dictate feature and get those thoughts out of your head based on the criteria that's in that bid or RFP that you're looking for. So some common broad value categories that we typically see that are asked for in proposals and in bids are a few of these. And so once again, go and look. This might be an action item from today's session. Go and look in your proposal library, or maybe go and look at a past response and see, are you addressing these value categories to help justify your price? Performance. Are you improving a task or a process, or maybe an overall result? Risk reduction. Everybody wants to know, how are you going to mitigate risk? How do you reduce the level of uncertainty in either making a decision, investment, protecting their reputation, moving risk from them to you? Accessibility, customization, convenience. How do you make things either more convenient or easier for the contact person, your contact person at that agency? Or maybe how does your product and service make it easier for the end user, make it easier for the principal, make it easier for the students, the teachers? So think about ways that you can provide customization and convenience for not only the direct contact who's going to be signing the contract with you, but the end user. Connectivity's got a lot coming down right now with connectivity and the infrastructure bill regarding Wi-Fi. How do you save money, right? Everybody is tightening the purse strings right now. How do you save money? Recognition. How has your company been recognized as either an industry leader or a trailblazer? And then overall experience. What is it like working with you and your company? Couple of other ways to organize and gather content. So think about when you've got that bid and you've done the research for that agency, what are their hot buttons, right? What is important to them? And how do you figure out what those are? Well, look at the scope, look at the background of this bid or this opportunity. Go and do the research on maybe their 5-year strategic plan. Go and look, maybe if it's a school district, go and look at their board meeting minutes. Maybe attend a board meeting if that is one of the agencies that you definitely want to do work for. Then break it down, right? So what is the hot button? What's a solution that you provide to them? How do we discriminate ourselves from our competitions? Where's that proof, right? And then experience. So maybe there's 4 hot buttons that you've identified with this client, with this pursuit, and you've got those organized here in this table fashion. You can either present it in your response in this table fashion or use it to craft your sentences. So these are just some ways to get content. Another way to get content out of your head and get it organized is we kind of sought some inspiration from Mad Libs here. We've completed XX projects within blank time frame. These projects are similar to the proposed project. Why? Here's how it's similar. Connect those dots for the evaluators, because you can't assume, even if you already have past performance with this agency that you're working with, that those people that you work with are the evaluators on that committee, or that the evaluators are familiar with you and those past projects. So don't be afraid to spell it out and connect those dots. We're seeing more and more, and you'll see that when you get your sample bids from RFP SchoolWatch, that agencies are asking for you to provide a challenge that maybe a project had, or maybe a challenge that you had with the client. And then what was your solution, right? And so don't be afraid to say, look, there was a challenge on this project. Not every single project is perfect, right? but how did you save the day? What was your solution with this specific project? And then from that solution that your company provided, what was the result? Did we still, maybe in Houston, it rained 47 days straight, but you know what? We still delivered on schedule. Did we do cost savings? Were there any other surprise solutions that came up from the original solution? Or what were some other results? How did you make it easier for the agency? Here's yet another way. And we wanted to make sure to show you a couple different ways. Here's another way that you can communicate and organize your content. So doing a features, benefits, and proof. Features are green, right? And so typically features are the same thing that you have that your competitor has, right? So what is that strength, right? And so we provide awesome. What is the benefit to the client? And if you don't know what your company's benefit is, then go ahead and call up a couple of your customers. Why do you keep using us? What is the benefit to you to continue with our company? Or what are the benefits that we have provided or the advantages that the competitor hasn't, right? So then do those in red, right? The benefit to the client. The awesome increases efficiency while decreasing your cost. Blue is this substantiating evidence and proof. For example, we all have examples, and this is a great way to leverage it and reinforce it in different places within your response. For example, we successfully provided awesome to Acme Tomato, and their costs decreased 25% in the first quarter due to, back to your feature, our unique project management expertise and implementation. So that's kind of the features, benefits, proofs, kind of the red, the blue, and the green. Another way for you to be able to respond better, faster, and win more contracts and differentiate your company's responses from everyone else's. And when you use, pick one of these three examples that I showed you. When you use one of these processes, you'll find that your content will actually become much more concise and compelling. And put yourself in the evaluator's shoes, that if you had 10 proposals that were 50 pages each, that's 500 pages that you've got to read. I would definitely appreciate the company that was able to articulate why I should choose them in the least amount of words and or visuals as possible. Here's another final example as we're wrapping up this section and wrapping up our time together this afternoon. So I wanted to show you kind of how we took the hot buttons and actually translated it into a project sheet. And you can see here that these are the relevant evaluation criteria and work summary, right? And then we also look to see what they were going to be evaluated against. So if I'm an evaluator and I want to see, is this project similar to the project that's proposed? Well, we went through and found what are those similarities and then literally check the boxes, right? We put the features there and really focused on the features that were similar of this project to the project that's being proposed. Once again, you want to make sure that you're making it easier for the evaluators to choose you and how this project is similar and relevant to the project or services that you're providing. Here's an example of that: challenge solutions and innovations. Maybe you're an industry leader in innovation, or you're applying an industry best practice or an industry trend in best practice. Don't be afraid to communicate that as well in your responses. And we wanted to close out this section with a visual representation of an approach as well as a schedule. So you can see that this company is communicating that they have a multi-phased approach, that it is linear in fashion, how long it's going to take for each section to be completed, as well as what are the dates for those activities to either start or stop. So now I can see very clearly that their methodology is well thought out, and that if we went ahead and moved forward with them this is how that specific project would be approached. We want to make sure to provide value to you as B2G Victory and RFP SchoolWatch, and hope that you took away at least 3 to 5 things during your time together, because it's really important that you get a return on your investment from today's session. And how do you translate those into actionable steps? Maybe that's this week. Maybe there's 1 or 2 things that you can do this week. Maybe it's something that we need to put a little bit longer. Next week, we only have 1 more day left in July, or maybe it is a Q3 or a Q4 thing. Because like I said, this is a marathon. It can be a marathon. It's not a sprint. And we want to make sure to hear from you. We want, if you don't mind, completing our session survey. We're going to continue these sessions throughout 2023. And we want to make sure to be providing value to you so that you can grow your business in the government space. So Emily's dropping that link to the session survey in the chat. And I'm going to open the floor to Rick for any closing comments with RFP SchoolWatch.
Thank you, Julie. That was, talk about marathon, not a sprint. That was well done. Good job, Julie. That was a lot of information, and you did it with panache. And I also have to say, it's such a pleasure working with B2G. They're so creative. Who comes up with the Three Stooges picture of Mo getting or Curly getting a tooth pulled out of his mouth for a 2023 webinar? That was absolutely brilliant. It's an incredible world, the RFP world, and doing these bid writings and competing for these contracts. It's a game changer, and we encourage all of you out there who are contemplating this new avenue of marketing, of incredible time saving, because we do so much of the work for you, and the opportunity to just really improve your bottom line of your business by having these incredible contracts. It's so worth at least exploring, checking out, and seeing if this is a world that is valuable for you. Thank you, Julie, so much. I think it was just a terrific webinar. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. And we had a question of how do you find out how does one obtain winning / previous bids by competitors? If there are certain agencies that you're interested in, Cheryl, go to that agency's website. They will post who the contract is awarded to. If it's not there, then you could go to the procurement department or the chief financial officer for that agency. So for example, with this bid, the person that you would talk to, it would be listed there. And then as you go through the subsequent pages on this bid, and then there's the email, the district dist.purchasing@dpsnc.net. So you could email them as well, and that would tell you. All righty. We've got a couple of other, we want you to join us again. We've got a couple more educational seminars, which obviously increasing your education increases your wins, and that's what it's all about. We've got a behind the scenes virtual tour of the membership portal, B2G Victory's membership portal, coming up on August the 3rd. Emily's dropping in all of these in the chat as well. So we've got the session and then the link. So you can today, right now, go ahead and sign up. If you're interested in doing work in the federal space with the federal government, we've got an 8-day application information session with the Deputy Director of the Small Business Administration here in Houston. They'll be joining us. And then these last two are us coming back here with RFP SchoolWatch on August the 22nd, kind of going over contracting 101, as well as we'll be back on September 26th with 10 ways to grow your business through government contracts. So those are just 4 upcoming sessions. But on our website, b2gvictory.com/events, we have over 100 other events with government agencies all across the nation, and their types of events, whether that's virtual, in-person, public, or private, that you can go to and learn about other events and other networking opportunities, not only for your business, but on different government levels as well. So those are just 4 of the events that we're featuring. And then all of the recordings for the Insights to Success series that we've been doing with RFP SchoolWatch going all the way back to March is available on our YouTube channel. So we want you to subscribe. So as we do other videos, those will drop and you'll get notified. And you can also visit our podcast there. The portal, we've talked about the portal. If you've got questions and want more resources, glossaries, videos, tons of tools and templates, those are all there. Just as RFP SchoolWatch is offering a Web 10 code, if you want to sign up and get 10% off your subscription, we're offering the launch to save 50%, and that's $500 for an entire year access at any time whenever you have questions and want to go to the membership portal. Once again, I'm joined here with B2G Victory. I'm here with B2G Victory. Joined with me is Emily Kelly, project manager. And B2G Victory was founded by Susan Repka and myself. And we've got the rest of the team, Dawn, Mark, and Bella, that are looking forward to and excited to hopefully work together with you to help you respond better, faster, and ultimately grow your business through government contracts. We're got lots of extra time for some additional questions and answers. If anybody wants to put them in the Q&A, or if you'd like to share maybe 1 or 2 things that you've taken away from our time together today. We encourage you to find a bid, request a sample bid, and then look at that through your proposal library. Go through and see if you've got these sections for your proposal. Also go and look and see, commonly used information. How do you have that organized? Do you have that organized in a victory plan? And wrapped around for a central repository of information. Angela's got a question for those just starting out. Are local state contracts easier to obtain than federal? Angela, thank you very much for your question, and absolutely. It is much easier to start local and state and then grow to federal. If you do just go off and go into federal, if you're new to government contracting, we really encourage you to be a subcontractor. Rick, you want to chime in on that? Rick, you're muted.
Yeah, I was just saying that the state and local reporting processes are so much easier than federal. Federal really does take you through the hoops to report on the contract that they award to you. So to get started, it's a lot easier to work with state and local government than try to jump in the middle of federal contracts and try to maintain all the reporting requirements that they have.
We've got a question from Daniel. What about no bid contracts? We actually did a session called Checks Cash the Same Way. The difference between formal and informal contracts, that's on our YouTube channel under the Insights for Success playlist. Because, and I'm going to pull this back up. So let's say that you get a sample bid from RFP SchoolWatch, and we'll go back to this Durham Public Schools. You can email that email address and ask them, how do I go about getting what is the threshold for this specific school district between formal and informal? And what I mean by that is a formal contract that would have to go out to bid. If it's informal, for example, under 50,000, then does the agency have to get at least 3 bids, right? And then it can just go off of that. Or maybe if the opportunity is under 10,000, the agency is able to just get 1 bid and put it on their P card or their purchasing card and do that transaction via credit card. And so when you get your sample bids or you've identified, we really encourage you to find 5 agencies. Maybe that is your local school district. Go to their website, look under purchasing or look under how to do business with, or look under procurement. And then that'll have their procurement manual and how that specific agencies procure the goods and services that you provide. And if you have any questions on that, please feel free to reach out. You can book some time with us. You can send an email to hello. We provide kind of some training and coaching on that as well. And Esther's got a question. How do you assess the total entity would potentially spend in a contract? Sometimes it's actually in the RFP, and during the question and answer period. So for example, this Durham Public School, so this was a bid alert from RFP SchoolWatch. It is due on June the 1st, right? But all questions were due via email to that email address no later than 3 p.m. on June 15th. So if this was a bid, that you were interested in, obviously, you would have gotten it way beforehand, but we're using this as an example. In the RFP, sometimes they'll tell you the budget. Sometimes on the pricing form, it'll say not to exceed, or you're able to ask questions if it's not there, but make sure that you ask it within the question and answer period, because let's say we were time travelers and we went back in time and this was June 18th, then we wouldn't be able to ask any questions. But now that we've fast forward to present day in our time travel, and you've got these sample bids from RFP SchoolWatch for these different school districts, because the bids are closed, this one's closed now, and the bid was opened on June 29th, I can now send an email to district.purchasing@dpsnc.net and ask them for the answers to the questions. You can maybe even go to their website and see if they posted the bid tabulation, if they posted who it was awarded to, if they posted the questions and answers. So getting these sample bids and using this as intel and helping you refine your content, your proposal library, looking for other questions that are specific to you, your product and your service, and the go, no-go decision matrix will definitely help you. So there's tons of value in receiving these bid notifications, whether it's sample bids or going ahead and moving forward with RFP SchoolWatch or moving forward with B2G Victory, whether that's joining the portal, doing some one-on-one coaching, or helping us or having us help you do full proposal management and capture management. We've got some time for one more question, or if somebody wants to put in the chat their 1 or 2 key takeaways from today. You're welcome, Esther. I'm glad I was able to answer your question. Daniel, I'm glad you were able to get the link to the Insights for Success series for the formal and informal video. And then Angela, your question regarding state and federal. And any government agency that uses tax dollars has to be transparent in their spending. So I really want to encourage everyone to do that as well. Angela's got a question in the Q&A. Do we help translate prior corporate experience to past performance for government opportunities? Absolutely, we do. And what's interesting is we help the company with an FBI proposal for leadership training that really wanted the companies and their responders to stress how are they taking their corporate experience and translating it to government experience. We also, around 4th of July weekend, helped a company respond to doing leadership training in school districts and helping train the principals, assistant principals in leadership techniques. And they specifically asked, how are you going to relate business experience into either the K through 12 space or other government corporate? So we interviewed them and really helped craft that narrative that they're not only able to use for that RFP, but now they can use that information on their website. They can now use that narrative when they're actually, meeting with potential contracting officers and buyers for agencies that they want to work with. Thanks again, everyone. We want to be respectful of your time. We hope you join us next week. We hope to see you continuing the conversation on our social media. And we're here to chat with you. Rick's here to chat with you as well, to answer questions. So please feel free to send us an email, leave us a voicemail message, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thanks for joining us, folks. Thank you very much.